through loving the beloved one, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way He made him a reminder in the alam of dhuhur, in the alam, in this world of manifestation, the way He made him a reminder for our minds about the truth and what is right and what is wrong, and following the path of goodness and following the path of morality and integrity. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam our guide in the alam nur, as well in the world of light, as well in the world of butun, as well in the world of the inside, in the world of essence, in the world of meanings, in the world of heart. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin ya rabbil alameen. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach our hearts through the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam how to love and how to feel and how to see and how to mourn and how to be happy. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin ya rabbil alameen. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin ya rabbil alameen. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin ya rabbil alameen. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, we celebrate the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And our celebration is not a mere excitement. Our celebration is not to show joy necessarily. When we celebrate, we don't just show that kind of joy, the silly joy that people call joy. No. Our joy is deep. The joy is the joy of the spirit. The heart could be mourning and the spirit could be joyful and could be happy. The heart could be mourning and the spirit of Allah subhanahu, and the spirit could be happy. And subhanallah, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam passed away, the heart of each believer was mourning. And we should be. And they should be. And there isn't something that should be more sad and that should sadden the believer more than the souvenir, more than the memory of his passing away, alayhi salatu wassalam. Even though we know that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the world of spirits, he did not distance himself from us. He did not cut himself, he did not cast us away, and he's not distant, and he is not hidden. Actually, we know for a fact that in the world of spirituality, it is growth, and it is another birth, and it is actually a higher station leading to a higher station, leading to a higher station, leading to a higher station in each and every breath of the creation. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is being elevated, with no end for his elevation, alayhi salatu wassalam. We know for a fact that after he said, and when I leave you, it's going to be good for you as well. There will be spiritual growth for you that can only happen to you when I leave your side, physically speaking, materially speaking. We know, the spirit knows, the spirit, the soul, the deep inside. We know, yet, subhanallah, the completeness of the human being. The human being is not someone who is just, subhanallah. Even angels, they have emotions, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them beings who have joy and happiness. They see the ghaib, but subhanallah, wa la ilaha illallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made human beings people who cry and who smile, even if we know the truth. That subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will for his people, and is always good. Yet for our spiritual growth, we need to be, emotionally speaking, we need to harmonize our emotions with the truth. We need to cultivate that emotional intelligence and that emotional, I would say, emotional harmony and emotional fitra. We need to find that nature within us. We need to mourn for things that should be mourned, and we need to be happy, to show happiness for things that. So when we have a memory, a sad memory, the believer should. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put these memories for us to take many cups from them. It's not just one cup. It's not a black or white. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts many cups, and for the believer, he needs to commemorate, and he needs to take his cup many cups from the same occasion. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen His beloved al-Hussain alayhi salamullah in this month of Muharram, in the 10th of Ashura. And that's the only sahih occasion that we know that actually happened in the day of Ashura. That's the only thing for a fact. You don't find two historians telling you, no, it's not the day of Ashura. All the historians, they say that Ashura, so Ashura, should Ashura be a day of joy or a day of mourning? For the sound heart. So Ashura has never been a day of joy, and should never be. It has been a day of mourning, a day where the hearts of the believer, we should just go back and connect. Yes, we celebrate the guidance, but emotionally speaking, you need to find in your heart some tears, you need to find in your heart some sadness. When you, not for the Hussain alayhi salamullah, for the humanity. Actually, it's fearsome, it's worrisome, when it's shocking. Think about it. Those people who killed Imam Hussain alayhi salamullah, they are human beings, same way you are a human being. And that event is there to remind us that we have this potential of not only deny the truth after witnessing it, but bring our swords and La ilaha illallah and try to end it. And we'll see in the world of manifestation, people, they come, they give bay'ah to you, and they are like that. And subhanallah, 2-3 weeks later, as if they became enemies. What happened? La ilaha illallah. You send them a message, they don't even answer your message. You see the khiyana, you see the treason, you see the treason, you see the betrayal, you see La ilaha illallah. And that should remind us of something within us. We are human beings. And if you want to be mourning, we should be mourning the human being nature, not the... Subhanallah, how could we? How could they? How could these people, subhanallah, not see the beauty of Imam Hussain alayhi salam? I mean, we see today people like Habib Umar, and subhanallah, see if Imam Hussain was only like Habib Umar. Huh? Just only like that. How could people see that a person like that, and after that, subhanallah, bring their swords and go and kill him? Not only kill him and cut his head after that and play football with his head. And how could they? How could the humans become so La ilaha illallah? Not only cruel, it's not cruelty, it's more than satanic. How could? And if it's shocking. It's shocking, and that shock, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen that story to happen in our history, it needs to stay in our DNA. We need to keep it in our DNA, to understand that we can not only deny the truth as human beings, but we can, la hawla la quwwata illa billah, we see it. So let us not be shocked then. Many things, emotionally speaking, you can take your cup of steadfastness and thabat. People today, they believe, if you are a man of God, or if you are a woman of God, everything should be easy for you, and things are, and glory after glory, and victory after victory, what people call victory. What do we call victory? What is victory? What is the reality of victory? How could Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give victory? In what shape? Why Sayyidina Zakaria alayhi salam was not victorious? Sayyidina Yahya alayhi salam was not victorious. Imam Hussain alayhi salam was not victorious. Those many prophets and saints that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Sayyidina Hamza alayhi salam was not victorious. Was he defeated when he was killed, and when he was... شهداء عند ربهم يرزقون. And another cup, people take it. If anyone wants to hadith nafsah, wants to talk and wants to say, I gave too much to this religion, I gave my money, I gave my wealth, I gave my children, and the Prophet Rasulullah gave more than anyone else. And he gave his children in the time of Islam and after. Before Islam became the victorious religion, and after he kept in still, and he keeps giving his children. And that's the sacrifice that Rasulullah is still giving, one after the other, and subhanallah, many cups are to be taken from that. So what is it? Should we mourn? Should we be happy? Our ancestors, in their innocence, they were told, and listen to me carefully, our ancestors were told, all of us, we grew up in a Sunni world. And our ancestors in the Sunni world, they were told that many things, many beautiful texts, decorated texts about Ashura, the one who fasts the day of Ashura, the sins of the past year will be forgiven. The one who, some hadith goes, the one who fasts the day of Ashura, the sins of 60 years will be erased. Another hadith telling the day of Ashura, you should give gifts to the children, and you should bring joy to the house, and you should, it's like a Halloween or something like that. You should give candies to people. And another hadith is telling, subhanallah, another hadith was brought to them saying that La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to Medina, he found the Jewish people fasting the day of Ashura, and he decided then he told them what are they fasting for. They said it is the day when Musa was saved. He said, okay, let us fast as well, because Musa is our prophet as well, the same way he's their prophet, and actually we are closer to Musa than them. And then when he was told after that, kind of his companions, or quote unquote smarter and more meticulous for the religion, said, how could you fast today like Jewish people? Okay, he said, okay, next year I'll be, to accommodate your complex of superiority, I'm going to fast the 9th and the 11th, and then too bad, he passed away the following. And many narrations like these ones, we find them. Our ancestors, they were told these narrations. And our ancestors did not really sift through these ahadith. But you have to know something. When our ancestors were told these ahadith about Ashura, they were not told that Ashura was the day of martyrdom of Imam Hussain. So when our ancestors have chosen to celebrate the day of Ashura as a Eid, because we know that our ancestors, their choice, Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, for the hadith, if a hadith is da'if, and all of these hadiths are da'if, all of them, even the one that is sahih is actually da'if, it's not. The ulama of Ahlus Sunnah ajma'u ala tad'if all the hadith of Ashura. There isn't one single hadith really sahih in these things, that actually it is the day where Musa was saved, or it is the day where Ibrahim was saved, or this is the day. All of those sayings, scientifically speaking, they don't have any foundation. Imam al-Hakim said they were da'if, Ibn al-Jawzi said they were da'if, Ibn Taymiyyah said they were da'if, and actually they went even to the extent to say that those ahadith not only were da'if, they said they were put by Banu Umayyah to change to shift the paradigm, basically, because the day of Ashura, to hide that occasion. So for people to, instead of commemorating the day of Ashura, because the people of Ahlul Bayt, they started commemorating the day of Ashura as a day of mourning, as a day of sadness, as a day of. So they said, no, alhamdulillah, they put these things. Ibn Taymiyyah said it, Ibn Jawzi said it. He said, Sufaha, nasabu anfusahum li Ahlus Sunnah. He said, people who came through Ahlus Sunnah, and they are not from Ahlus Sunnah, And they brought these things, exaggerating, wanting yaghid, wanting just to play games, wanting to just, how to say, poke. No, wanting to hurt. Provoke and hurt the people who call themselves Shia at that time. But we have to understand something. Our ancestors, when they got these narrations, they were not told in the same time, and by the way, your beloved Imam Hussain was actually killed in Karbala or Ashura. Only the scholars of Ahlus Sunnah. So you go to 100 years ago, you go to Morocco, you go to Algeria, you go to Libya, you go to India, in the Sunni world, and you tell them Ashura is the day where Imam Hussain was martyred. Really? You understand? They won't really connect that day to that occasion. For them, Ashura is a day, is a Eid, is a day where actually children play around and things like that. That's how they were. So they accepted that when it was not connected to another occasion. But all the scholars, when they read history, and when they saw it's actually the day of Ashura, and they saw this, and they traveled and they discovered the Shia, actually that same day they understood this is not just a coincidence. This is not just a coincidence. So after that, they took different positions. Some of them, they said all these ahadith about showing joy and fasting and making it a day of Eid, all these ahadith are lies. They're not ahadith, and Rasulullah ﷺ never said anything about the day of Ashura like that. It doesn't make any sense. Actually, these things that are attributed to the 10th of Muharram, in the reality they were attributed in other ahadith to the 10th of the al-Hijjah, and it makes more sense that it is the 10th of the al-Hijjah when we see that Rasulullah ﷺ has made the 10th of the al-Hijjah as the Eid, as the day of sacrifice, and so it makes more sense that that will be the day when Sayyidina Nuh was saved and that Sayyidina Ibrahim is the ancestor's day. It makes more sense to think about it in that way. It's a Thanksgiving day. Those who accept it and they say we don't have to, they said there is no contradiction. There is no contradiction. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the day of 12 Rabi' al-Awwal to give birth for Sayyidah Amina to give birth to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the same day was chosen to choose Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for his company. So there is no contradiction. We'll talk about it, inshallah, more in details with the lesson al-Alim tomorrow or after tomorrow in a halaqa that will be yani, dedicated for this. But what I want us to understand, that today, whether you choose to follow the people of Ahlus Sunnah who did not really use the critical mind and just they just took the narration as it is and said صحيح ضعيف يعمل به في فضائل الأعمال, a hadith that is ضعيف, we can take it and we use it في فضائل الأعمال. It's all about fasting and giving good things to children. These are فضائل الأعمال, these are good things, let us do them. There is nothing wrong about them. If you do that, you have to pay attention. You have really to pay attention. You should never do that with the intention that, oh, the martyrdom of Imam Hussain is not something important, or is not something that should be commemorated, or it's not something that should be. Now, khalas. Allah has chosen for our world today that we all read and write. And we know for a fact So emotionally speaking, you are called to take a position. Our ancestors were not. They were exempted from that. No one told them that Ashura is the day Imam Hussain was killed. No one told them. No one told them. It's Ashura, it's just a day to cook some certain meals and to have some traditions, to put some kuhl and put a fire and sing a few songs, and they don't really nothing connected to Hussein. Nothing in the world of Ahlus Sunnah. Subhanallah, ajib. And in the other world, people are mourning and people are crying and people are it's ajib. It's mashallah. So our ancestors did not know better. That's but for us, we know now for a fact. So that's the day of martyrdom of the Sibt of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Emotionally speaking, we have to take position. Emotionally speaking, we have to choose. And our choice should be conscious and should be, if you want to celebrate, okay, I'll tell you what to celebrate. Your celebration, you should not celebrate, okay, let us forget about Muhammad saying that's a small thing. It's a day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved Sayyidina Nuh, saved Sayyidina Ibrahim, okay, Sayyidina Hussein is nothing. Astaghfirullah, don't be like that. Sayyidina Hussein is Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you want to celebrate the victory, the hidden victory of Imam Hussain alayhi salamullah. Celebrate the victory of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the martyrdom of Imam Hussain. Celebrate with the spirit. Celebrate the victory, the spiritual victory of Imam Hussain alayhi salamullah. If you want to celebrate, Bismillah. Commemorate it in that fact, and then have the martyrdom of Imam Hussain alayhi salamullah as a victory like the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved Sayyidina Ibrahim and saved Sayyidina Musa. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Isn't it? Alhamdulillah, yarhamukumullah, that same day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, Imam Hussain was killed, but Imam Ali Zayn al-Abidin was saved. The plan of those enemies, it was to kill everyone. Their plan was to end. Their plan was khalas. Let us not leave something from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Khalas. They wanted to honor what their ancestors said about him. Abtar, okay, he's Abtar. We're not going to leave any child of his. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made like Fir'aun, like Musa in the castle of Fir'aun. Subhanallah, he has put like some rahmah in people who ashqa ahl al-ard. He put some rahmah in them. They felt some mercy, and many times they were going to put the sword on his neck, Imam Ali Zayn al-Abidin, and they decided not to. Subhanallah, miracle. There is a miracle. There is a miracle. There is a miracle to be celebrated, the shaja'ah, the courage of Imam Hussain to be celebrated, the honesty of Imam Hussain to be celebrated. If you want to celebrate that. And if you want to mourn, that's emotional speaking, it is legitimate. It is actually very legitimate. It is very legitimate. And if you want to combine both, emotional speaking, the heart should be crying. The heart should be crying whenever the day of Ashura comes, and the month of Muharram, and even the month of Safar. Whenever that occasion comes, we should be, subhanallah, think about it, our human condition, and we should take from that courage. We should invest that, and we should have, spiritually speaking, we should be proud. Emotionally speaking, we should be hurt and shocked. How humanity could go that low, and how humans could do that. And we should fear. We should fear ourselves. We are human beings. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم, and we see how things could happen. But spiritually speaking, we should be, it's the victory of the Spirit. the body died. It's like what a malhama, what an epic moment. The body and the flesh and the of Hussein, alhamdulillah. How about the spirit of Hussein? Living forever, the love of Hussein, living forever. They don't find a grave, they don't find something from his body to give him a grave, subhanAllah, every place. There's a maqam in Karbala, people visiting in Karbala, people visiting him in Egypt, people visiting him in Dimashq. People are visiting him in Asqala. Look at Ahlul Bayt everywhere. And look how many children, their name is Hussein. Only stupid people will give the name of Yazid to their children. Only stupid people, la khalaqa lahum, people who don't really understand anything, who did not understand anything from the deen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive them. It's a stupid thing, it's a blasphemy. Who dares to do that? Who dares? Very rare anyways. Alhamdulillah. Even though we have many stupid people in the Ummah, but they do not dare to go that far. How many children have the name of Hussein, 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 Hussein in the Sunnah world, in the Shia world, everywhere? And subhanAllah. And that's just a small thing, but the victory from Hussein alayhi salamullah and the science that is still there. The deen of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that is still alive. Those who wanted to kill Imam Hussein, it was not a just fight. They wanted to kill the religion. They wanted to kill the legacy. They wanted to play their plot. They were plotting against the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They wanted to change the deen of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Could they change it? They couldn't change it. They killed one Hussein, and subhanAllah, 1,000 Husseins are born after that. And they kill generation, other generations are reborn. They kill generation, other generation is... Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So if you want to celebrate, celebrate that. And that's worth of being celebrated. If you want to celebrate, celebrate that. If you want to put kuhl, put kuhl for that. Okay? If you want to give gifts to kids, give gifts to kids for that. But I grew up in a Sunni family. And the day of Ashura has been always a sad day. And that's how we're educated. I went to Tarim and I found it is different. I understand. The Sunni people are two categories. Some of them, they have the critical mind, and they decided to go sift through this ahadith. What is this? And they found that there is nothing sahih about them. This whole thing about Ashura is just Umayyad propaganda. And they decided that this is an Umayyad propaganda. Those people, they wanted to play with the history, and they wanted to make people forget who Hussein was, and they were successful to make people forget the death of Hussein, but not the love of Hussein. They wanted to make people forget the Karbala, etc., thinking that they will make people forget the memory of Hussein. They could. They erased the hadith about Imam Ali, etc. Go to North Africa, especially before, when they were truly North African people. When they were true people, before they started giving the silly names to their children. Go, just 70% of men, Ali. 80% of women, Fatima. The rest, Hassan and Hussein. Some of them are Muhammad. Alhamdulillah, because out of respect for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they did not want to play with that name. But in every Bayt, Ali, Fatima, subhanallah. It's not a rare thing to find Ali marrying Fatima and giving birth to Hassan and Hussein. It's repeating itself, repeating itself, repeating itself. Ajib, subhanallah. Finding like that. Ajib. Those people did not have access to all the hadith about who was Sayyidina Ali true. Alhamdulillah. Even when people, they want to, we see it today. We see it today, when people hiding the history here and hiding this and hiding the virtues of those people. It's the light of, if you want to celebrate, celebrate that. Celebrate how the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes, رغم الداء والأعداء. How the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is successful and is victorious, even in spite of the plotting of the enemies and in spite of their strategies, their tactics. Subhanallah. Even in Sham today, even in Syria today, you find lovers of Ahlul Bayt. And they are not rare. Imagine. Even in Syria you find lovers of Ahlul Bayt. And the majority, lovers of Ahlul Bayt. Even those who actually would believe in these lies, etc. And even those who will say, Subhanallah, Ajib. They couldn't erase the love of Ahlul Bayt from the hearts of the Muslimin, because there is no faith if you don't have love for Ahlul Bayt in your heart. In your heart. There is no truth. There is no faith. So you find some scholars of Ahlus Sunnah who took the position, they have the critical thinking, and that's the people we grew with, and they decided, no, they're not going to take this ahadith, that's an Umayyad plot. Clearly, we are not going to be part of it. The day of Ashura, come my child, I'll tell you. And actually my grandfather told me, even football. Still, when I see the ball, I can't even play with it. The first thing that I was taught about the football, he told me, Wilty, come here. When the kuffar killed Imam Hussain, they played with his hand. Like that. And I was thinking, from where my grandfather is bringing that? The only day, by the way, people were playing football. In some tribes in Libya, in some tribes in Tunisia, and some tribes. The only day they used to play football, they would make a ball and play with it like that, is the day of Ashura. Old game. And many things, subhanAllah. Now the Shia theory that you see, all Sunnah are happy because Hussein was killed. No, they don't even know. It's just games that maybe those who put these games in the beginning, they wanted to create that feeling. In the beginning, those the instigators, the instigators of these habits, actually, I doubt it. Really, it must have been. It must have been. Eating sweets, putting kuhl, decorating homes, Allahu Akbar. Calling it a day of barakah. From where? Maybe the instigators, they actually wanted to actually create to sever people from that memory of Imam Hussain, just to make them forget. Okay, let us make it a day of Eid. Instead of, we are going to make it a day of Eid, Yawm Zina, people will be happy, people will be dancing, people will be, and subhanAllah. But no, but those who are playing like that, and they don't know anything, masakin, just playing like that. No, we won't find a single Muslim celebrating the death of Imam Hussain and commemorating that, daring to do it. You won't find. You won't find a single Muslim doing that. Subhanallah. You won't find a single Muslim doing that. So if you find a Shia person telling you that, oh, Muslims are showing these festivities, are happy, they're not happy. Maybe the instigators, yes, we agree we agree that all these hadith of Ashura, personally, I don't take them. And my father does not take them. And the scholars some scholars we know, they don't take them. We don't take any of these hadith about Ashura, and it is actually a day you should fast, or you should celebrate. No. If you want to celebrate it, the only celebration that is sahih, it has our celebration for the day of Ashura, as Muslims, must be connected to Imam Hussain, alayhi salam. You want to bring the other ahadith? Bring them. But as an annex, they shouldn't be conflicting or trying to, or overshadowing, barakallahu feek. They shouldn't be conflicting or overshadowing. Yes, victory of Anbiya, it's a victory, it's a form of victory. Martyrdom is a form of victory. What is it if it, why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose it for His Prophet Yahya and Prophet Zakaria alayhi salam? Because you find people trying to tell to the silly mind and to the stupid mind that, you see, had he been a man of God, why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let him leave, let him like that in the desert, calling, هَلْ مِن نَاصِرٍ يَنْصُرُنِي, and no one comes to save him? We don't know. وَلَنْ تَرَى مِنْ وَلِيٍّ غَيْرَ مُنْتَصِرٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, look how he saved his wali Ibrahim, look how he saved his wali Nuh, look how he saved his wali Musa, look how he saved in that day, and look that in the same day how he did not answer the call. So, astaghfirullah. So, Shaitan will try to kind of whisper like that. And we have to be careful with this. And Shaitan is not a need for Bani Umayyah or any, it's the same tactic. I mean, he will use their tactic or just your mind. Just your mind, because nasta'ajil. We are people who, we're hasty. And we are inclined to think in that way. Whenever we see someone really being, subhanallah, had he been, لو كان على حق لنصره الله. We have to be careful with that. We have to be careful with that. It has never been a sign. Zuhur has never been a sign of haqq. And martyrdom or spending their life in the prison or being killed or has never been sign of the batil. Actually, it's 50-50. Or these are things, these are secondary things. Al-Nasr is min indillah. The true victory is in the heart. We shouldn't be, you see, because you see, that's a sign that he's a man of God. That's why wherever he goes, things are opening. Why? We know people of God, wherever they go, things are closing. And are closing, apparently. In the world of appearances. Qadi Iyad. Whose books were more accepted than Qadi Iyad? Qadi Iyad, the author of the book of Shifa. Do you know how he died? Just go and read how he was at the end of his life. Subhanallah. People, they were like, Hajib. Imam Abu Hanifa, how did he die? Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, how did he die? Sayyidina Zakaria alayhi salam, Sayyidina Yahya alayhi salam, these are the two that we know. Sayyidina Aissa alayhi salam, how did he leave this earth? I mean, even if, wow, victorious, with an army, how? But same thing, subhanallah. Ajib, la ilaha illallah. وفديناه بذبح عظيم. لا إله إلا الله. والحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us and you inshallah tawfiq. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin رب العالمين. If you want to celebrate with consciousness. You cannot afford today to just do things just because we were told to do things. You cannot afford to do that. The world came together and our children will be going to schools and having Shia friends and having things, and we have to have answers. And we need to be able to say with courage, yes, this is the explanation. That's the explanation. And these ahadith talking about the virtues of the day of Ashura, they are not authentic hadith. Why did our ancestors accept them? They did not see anything wrong in that. For two reasons. Why? Because in the word of Ahlus Sunnah, we accept the hadith, even if it is not authentic, if it is only about doing good things. And all these ahadith about Ashura are about fast, give sadaqah, do this. So why not? We take it if it is Ashura or Nusf min Sha'ban or 27th of Rajab. That's the inclination of Ahlul Sunnah, that's the choice of Ahlul Sunnah. whatever. We don't want to be missing out on good things. Any hadith, ضعيف, موضوع, anything telling us, okay, there is good thing in doing such a such thing which is noble in its shape. Why would that be wrong? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses a day like the day of Ashura, especially if you tell me that it is the day Musa will save it in it, Sayyidina Ibrahim will save it in it, Sayyidina Yunus will save it in it. All the prophets Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to save on the same day of Ashura. Especially if you tell me that. Absolutely. Yes. I'll be fasting, I'll be giving sadaqah, I'll be showing joy. And the second reason, our ancestors, they never connected that date to the martyrdom of Imam Hussain. They knew for a fact that Imam Hussain was, actually not all of them. Not all of them. You know these stories, they came now. In the world of Ahlus Sunnah, the choice was to not talk about these things. Even the scholars, they did not want to sadden the hearts, and they found the priority, yarhamukumullah. There was no need to talk about them. They taught their kids to love Ahlul Bayt. They taught their kids how to love Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain. They did not tell them these stories and what happened between the Sahaba and what happened, they did not tell them. I mean, even my grandfather told me, kuffar, they killed Imam Hussain. Who? What kind of kuffar? Are they people who are kuffar, who were born kuffar, or kuffar who were born Muslim? Only when I grew up I understood that they were kuffar. For sure they were kuffar. Those who killed Imam Hussain, they couldn't have an atom of faith when they killed him, and even after that. Unless they have repented, we have to have, it's aqidah, it's not a game. Anyone who agreed with that, how could they be people of iman or people of faith? But they were kuffar, who were born Muslims. SubhanAllah. They were born into the Muslim world. In the Muslim world. All of them? Not all of them. 60% of that army, they were from the mountains, they were from the Christian tribes of the mountains, they were from the Satanists, the people who were worshipping different things, different powers and energies. That was the army of Yazid. They call them Yazidis today. Think about it. That was the army of Yazid. Were they truly the Muslims? No. Were they truly? Some of them were. Majority of them, children who did not know their fathers, they did not know anything. The highway robbers brought together. شر أهل الأرض بالإجماع. بالإجماع. So the day of Karbala was a day where the worst people on earth killed the best people on earth. Allah allowed that. To tell us that death and life is ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. Allah allowed that. Things should never stop. Allah allowed that. We think if we want to celebrate, we should commemorate and celebrate and think about this. If we want to celebrate the power of the Spirit. Celebrate the immortality of the Spirit. Celebrate your own immortality. That your story does not end when your body goes, and subhanallah. اقتلوني ثقاتنا في قتل حياتي. ولم يشاء يبارك على أشلائي جزع الممزع. سبحان الله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you want, He will put barakah in. What is this? So if you want to celebrate, you celebrate with that mindset and with that heart set. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us and you inshallah tawfiq. Ameen ya arhamar rahimin Rabbil Alameen. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين. الفاتحة. آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Even if you want to fast the day of Ashura, fast to feel the thirst of Imam Hussain. that will be more virtuous than anything else. His thirst and the thirst of his people that day. If you want to fast, fast with that intention. Fast for that intention. Even if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if it is true, even if these ahadith are true, even if you say, I will authentify them for your sake. Bismillah. Yes, it is the day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved Ibrahim. And it is the day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved Noah. So it is a day that should connect us to the prophetic inheritance. Which prophetic inheritance is closer to us? It's the closest and the most recent. The update. It's one prophetic inheritance. It's one prophetic inheritance. The biggest occasion that should occupy our mind and our heart, and we should see connection with the most, even if all of them are authentic, should be Imam Hussain alayhi salam. That's the update. That's the closest thing to us. That's the closest thing to us. And yes, within his martyrdom, we can celebrate the victory of Ibrahim, because it's the same, isn't it? They threw Ibrahim in the fire, alayhi salam Allah. And they thought we finished him. يا نار كوني بردا وسلام على إبراهيم. يا موت كون حياة الحسين. The one who told to the fire, become peace and heaven for Ibrahim. He's the one who said to death, become everlasting life for Hussein. يا موت كن حياة الأبدية خالدة للحسين. يلا بسم الله. You don't see that? Huh? What is maut? مخلوق. What is حياة? مخلوق. Like fire, مخلوق. برد وسلام, مخلوق. All of these are مخلوقات. The one who told to the, subhanallah, عجيب. If you want to see it, okay, bismillah. It's a victory in that way. It's a victory in that way. But emotionally speaking, I believe there is khayr. And I believe Ahlus Sunnah, we are missing out on a great ni'mah to not having our children. And this is my personal opinion. I believe Ahlus Sunnah, we are missing out on not having our children cry for Imam Hussain. Today al-Ashura or another day. I believe we should have in our tradition songs that actually we do have. We just recited one of them. We should allow our children to cry. When children, they don't know the spirits and the souls. Should, huh? They should mourn with the Prophet and celebrate with the Prophet. The same way we should teach them how to dance with joy when Rasulullah ﷺ is born. We need to teach them to cry when Amina passed away. And when Abdullah passed away. And when Hussein passed away. It's an emotional education. Can I say it like that? Huh? It's emotional education. We need to educate our emotions. To cry for things that are worth. Huh? Are worth crying for, and vice versa. Allah wa Rasuluhu a'lam. And that's my personal opinion. I believe that what are they going to cry for? If they don't cry for Imam Hussain. And why are we shying away? Oh no, they won't understand the story. Other Muslims, they are not Muslims. What kind of Muslims would kill Imam Hussain? Stop. None of the scholars said that. No one of the scholars said that. بالإجماع, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Abu Hanifa, all of them, they say, أشقى أهل الأرض. You know, أشقى أهل الأرض. إذا انبعث أشقاها أقصد ودريد وشمس وضحاها. The ulama. And this is not like, wait. إذا انبعث أشقاها, they say, يزيد. ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوا فعقروها قال رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها الإمام الحسين. عجيب. أشقى أهل الأرض, that army, the army who killed Imam Hussein. You have to say, who are the most wretched people? Those people, the people who killed Imam Hussein and agreed and were happy with what happened to Imam Hussein the day of Karbala. With them, alongside with them, those who killed Imam Ali and who were happy with that. Alongside with them, those who killed Sayyidina Umar and were happy with that. Alongside with them, هكذا أشقى أهل الأرض بالإجماع العلماء. How could they be Muslims still? Oh, maybe they were mistaken, it was a matter of ijtihad. This is the first generation who is uttering stupid things like that. No one said it before. No one said it before. You won't find one single alim from Ahlus Sunnah who dared to actually say, you know what, Hussein actually was mistaken and he did the wrong ijtihad. And no one dared to say something like that. Oh, Allah, he was the man of haqqan, qadha of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we accept it. And all of them, they say the same thing. If you want to cry, cry. And call the rain to cry with you, and call the sky to cry. If you want to cry, the sun cried. And يريد Imam Suyuti in Tarikh al-Khulafa. Imam Suyuti, he's telling you, this is the Imam of Ahlus Sunnah. He's telling you, we believe that the redness, actually, we were told when we were children, and we grew up in the Sunni world. He said, we were told, and it is something that my heart accepts. Huh? Even if it looks strange to you, that the redness of the sky at the sunset was not a natural, was not a natural thing before. The first time it happened the day of Karbala, and then it kept happening after that. Whether it is true or not true, I'm talking about the mentality of our ancestors, of the world of Ahlus Sunnah. This is what I'm talking about. How the people of Ahlus Sunnah were, their culture, their connection to Ahlul Bayt. Those people, they were mourning Imam Hussain every day. Whenever they see the redness of the sky, they say, Subhanallah, from the day of Karbala. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You want to believe in it, you don't want to believe in it, that's not the question. But Imam Suyuti is saying it in Tarikh al-Khulafa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a new tawfiq and connect us to the people of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and connect us to Ahlul Bayt, inshallah, with a strong connection, with the connection of lovers. And we don't celebrate Ahlul Bayt through hating anyone. If we hate the ego, and ولا نبرئ أنفسنا. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. Inshallah. May we unite and reunite around the love of the people who are worth of, who are worth loving, inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barak ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin ya arhamar rahimin ya Rabbil Alameen. اللهم أحيا قلوبنا نهض إليك فإنه لا نبوض لنا إلا بك ولا مطلب لنا إلا فيك. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا حبيبنا شفيعنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين يا أرحم الراحمين رب العالمين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نعم.
ولقد أشرت لنعت من أوصافه تحيي القلوب تعيج الأشجان. صلى الله على محمد. الله أثنى عليه فما يساوي القول منا أو يكون ثنانا. صلى الله على محمد. لكن حبا في السرائر قد دعا لمديح صفوة ربنا وحدانا. صلى الله على محمد. وإذ امتزجنا بالمودة هنا نرفع أيدي فقرنا ورجانا. صلى الله على محمد. للواحد الأحد العلي إلهنا متوسلين بمن إليه دعانا صلى الله على محمد مختاره وحبيبه وصفيه زين الوجود به الإله حبانا